Welcome to Speak for Yourself. Marcellus Wiley waving at Emmanuel Acho. You know people get paid $1 million just to do that before the price and stuff. Insane, man. In the wrong business, y'all. Let's get it started in Tampa, where the Bucs are welcoming Antonio Brown back to the team after he served his 3-game suspension for turning in a fake vaccination card. If you remember, Bruce Arians said last year, quote, "If he screws up one time, he's done." Well, he changed his tune yesterday. Take a listen.
Well, the history has changed since that statement. You know, a lot of things went on last year that I was very proud of him, and I made a decision that this was best for our football team. And I could give a what they think. The only thing I care about is this football team and what's best for us.
Is it fair to criticize Bruce Arians for keeping Antonio Brown?
Not fair at all. I love Bruce Arians' stance. I love Bruce Arians' words on this message. Bruce Arians did what I hope so many other coaches would do. Keep it a buck with us. Like he kept it 1,000. He said straight up, we need Antonio Brown to win football games.
Hello.
Period.
Yeah.
Like so many other coaches try to lie and mask behind their words, but Bruce Arians was like, I'm going to be honest with y'all. We need Antonio Brown. What y'all want me to say?
Right.
Bruce Arians is going to get criticized either way, right? You don't have Antonio Brown, you likely get eliminated from the playoffs significantly earlier. Oh. You have Antonio Brown, you likely go further deep into the playoffs. So you either get criticized for keeping Antonio Brown or you get criticized for not making it as far as you should have made it after returning from a Super Bowl. You won last year. You return all 22 starters and then you don't make it back to a Super Bowl this year. So he's kind of it doesn't matter which way he goes, he is stuck with punishment.
Okay.
So I like Bruce Arians, and I like his approach here because he's like, you know what? I don't really care what y'all got to say. I'm just going to be honest. At the end of the day, still, if I commit some sort of crime and the governing bodies, I know, far-fetched.
I don't know you that well. How long have you been? 1.5 years on the show? 5 years in life?
If your boy commits some sort of crime and the governing bodies send me to 30 days probation, I'm not going to further that and say, you know what? No, don't do that. How about y'all give me a couple years in jail? Right? The governing body sentenced Antonio Brown to a 3-game suspension.
Yeah.
Why would Bruce Arians add further punishment to that? It's not his job to punish Antonio Brown. It's the governing bodies. It's the NFL, the commissioner, etc. They deemed a certain punishment for Antonio Brown. Bruce Arians is like, oh, time's up. Let's keep it rolling.
I'm respecting Bruce Arians in this moment right now. Actually, I agree with you in this sense that this is the Bruce Arians we should have heard all along. Actually, I disagree with the Bruce Arians a year ago who said he makes one mistake, he's out of here. I'm like, dude, what the hell are you talking about? This is why in this world you should never talk in extremes and absolutes. Measure your words. You know why? Because your needs change your wants. And a lot of times in this world, we talk from a position of want. We talk from a position high on the hog. Oh, that bacon tastes good. You ever been low on the hog? That's when you ain't getting bacon no more. It's chitlins. You know what I'm saying? And the whole house stink. And Bruce Arians looking around, looking at that receiver room. He's like, that house stinks right there. That room stinks because there are injuries or they're absent. So now he looks at it differently, as you're supposed to look at it. Your needs changes because of your wants. Now, since you're looking at it correctly, I want everyone to understand what Bruce Arians went through in terms of metamorphosis. Football players, we all fight this whole stigma of being meat and potato heads, right? You meatheads, you dumb jocks. I fought it so hard, I went to a damn nerd school just to make sure y'all didn't call me that for the rest of my life. Hard as hell in that school, too. I don't know what I was doing. Point being, we try to fight that. So sometimes when we're sitting there talking about what's on our plate, we start talking about the veggies. And Bruce Arians a year ago was talking veggie talk. That's veggie talk. Well, you know, we like choir boys of high character, and if you mess up one time, you're out of here. And then he looked around and realized, one, damn, who was I talking about? Antonio Brown is not just a normal receiver, valuable, even at this stage in his career. We already know he has a resume that's a Hall of Fame resume. Let's talk about Antonio Brown as a Buck. 16 games, so that's an old school full season. 82 catches, 982 yards, and 10 touchdowns. And he came mid-season. y'all better put some respect on this dude's name. He is valuable to this team. So I just laugh when people just make these declarations, these statements, and they're always in these absolutes, like, oh, life wouldn't change, information wouldn't change, value wouldn't change. Respect for Bruce Arians for now being in a position he should have started in.
Mm-hmm. I also agree on that, everything you said right there, but I don't think Bruce Arians even lied, Sel. I think Bruce Arians told his truth in the moment.
You think so? Let's
so
talk
in the
okay,
moment,
okay.
a year ago, I do believe Bruce Arians was like, one strike, Antonio Brown's out of here. Fair. Gronk is there. Mike Evans is there. Godwin is there. Fournette's there. Ronald Jones is there. So he's like, Antonio Brown is the whipped cream. He's the icing on the cake. He is not the cake.
Gotcha.
But the truth in this moment is that Antonio Brown is legitimately the cake. The fact of the matter is, you look around, Mike Evans is hurt and hobbled. You look around, Chris Godwin is out. You look around, Rob Gronkowski does not look the same. So you need Antonio Brown. Bruce Arians has just reassessed the situation. And after furthering his assessment, he's like, yo, we have to have AB if we even want to get somewhere in the playoffs. It's kind of like, Sel, you know, us as analysts, people will always clap at us. Oh, that's a terrible take, Acho. They'll see something you said 3 months ago, something I said 3 months ago, and, oh, you sound like an idiot. No. We were speaking with the evidence we had at the time.
Good point.
And the evidence at the time led us to make this sort of declaration. The evidence Bruce Arians had at the time led him to make that declaration.
Okay.
The evidence Bruce Arians has at this point in time leads him to make another declaration. I'm just glad at least he has been honest with this declaration as opposed to lying about it all.
Let's have some verbal sparring up here now because we found a point of contention and we about to talk that talk. So Bruce Arians didn't know the value of Antonio Brown, but took a risk for Antonio Brown, but then said go to the plate and play baseball with one strike? Really? Does that add up? Is that baseball? No, that ain't baseball. Is that the value of Antonio Brown? No, it's not because he was a Hall of Famer coming to you. Does it make sense to even say that, even if that's the reality? No, that's playing your cards wrongly. That's playing your hand the wrong way. So it doesn't make sense to me. I understand what you're saying. But I think he got caught up in grandstanding. This is what happens when you grandstand. You forget that you got to also get off that stand and be around the grand masses. And the masses are full of flaws, full of flawed people. And you have one on your team. Actually, you have many, but this is the one we're going to speak on. A football coach should always keep football as their top and only priority and concern. What happens in this world today, because football coaches are more CEOs than they are football coaches, is they start to get into the marketing. They start to get into the PR. They started to get into the human resources. They started to get into lanes that they're not for. They're for a football sideline and to keep their focus on football. So what happens is when you grandstand, you start getting into situations where we only criticize when we're not focused on the prize, and it rhymes for a reason. Bruce Arians started to criticize Antonio Brown because he wasn't focused fully on what Antonio Brown was going to bring, which was catches and touchdown passes. Would you tell a guy who has a Hall of Fame resume and who's going to come to your team and give you 1,000 yards in one season and 10 touchdowns, you got one strike? Where they do that at? We played the game. Matter of fact, let's talk it in story form. When one of my teammates, I ain't gonna say his name, Ted Washington, he was asleep in the room. He used to sleep at every meeting. He was so good. He probably already did film study. I don't know. But he was asleep. And he big, like his nickname was Mount Washington. So when your nickname's Mount Washington, let's just say you snore louder than most, right? So we in the film session, and you know film session is quiet. We don't get the broadcast copy. It's silent video and coach talking. But coach can't talk because Ted is snoring. So then we're sitting there as youngsters like, yo, not only wake Ted up, but discipline Ted. Yo, this is crazy. And coach went over to Ted and he looked at him and we was like, oh, coach is about to go in on Ted. You know what he did? Kind of rubbed his foot just slowly just to make sure he gently woke up, not disturbing, right? Meanwhile, I don't know, fast forward a couple of weeks or months, I got caught slipping a couple of times. You know what I'm saying? Wow! Like, I'm like, what the hell? Hey, Wally, no sleeping in our meetings. And the first thing I thought of was like, well, Ted. But you know what? I wasn't giving what Ted was giving to the team. So I didn't expect to get back and discipline what Ted would get. Why would a coach, knowing he got a Hall of Famer who's going to give him these amount of catches, ever come out and grandstand like that?
Sel, because I don't think it's about AB's talent level. I think the operative issue here is the Bucs need. it's not so much about AB's talent.
Okay.
Because last year you had, as talented as AB was, you still had a plethora of talent on the roster without AB. But this year, even with AB, with all these injuries, rather, you need AB. I don't think AB's talent is really what's dictating these terms right now. It's the Bucs' need.
Don't you always need talent?
Yeah, but you can not have enough because it's the NFL. You can never have enough talent.
Yeah.
But there is also a law of diminishing returns with talent. I'll talk more about that term later. But there is having we have enough running backs. We have enough receivers. We have enough talented quarterbacks on our roster. The Ravens at this point don't really need another quarterback. They've proven Lamar Jackson can ball, Tyler Huntley can ball. You don't really need another quarterback.
Okay.
When I look at it, so it's kind of like right now, I got an old school laptop, then your boy had to get a MacBook, then I had to get an iPad. Right?
Old school laptop?
I got an old school joint.
What you got?
Not a Mac joint. I don't even know what it is.
What is it, a Commodore?
Maybe. I think it's like an Asus, something like that, right? So I have my laptop, but then during all these Zooms, you got to get you a Mac. You might as well. Then I have my iPad. When I be prepping, my old school laptop, it'll clunk out. Right? It'll clunk. Now, mind you, still has done so much good for me, but it'll clunk out. I'll be looking at that laptop, shut it, throw it away. Let me just use my Macs and my iPads, prep my notes. But then, Sal,
what?
There will be the occasional morning when my Mac is dead.
Your Mac dead too?
Mac dead, boy.
Where the hell you living?
iPad dead.
Oh, God.
And now I'm stuck with the laptop. So it's not so much, it really has nothing to do with the laptop. It has more to do with what do I have at my disposal around me that dictates the value of the other item? I think when I look at the Bucs, it's what do they have at their disposal around them that dictates the value of Antonio Brown? It doesn't so much, in my mind, have to do with Antonio Brown because the Bucs were sitting at, what are they, 10-4 without AB? Yeah. So the Bucs are doing okay without him, and they just lost last game, so they were sitting at 10-3 without AB. Mind you, they haven't had AB since week 6, so they were sitting pretty without AB. But now, what do they have at their disposal? They look around. Everybody else gone. You need AB.
Hella got in my ear said that laptop could take the top off that defense, too. So you better not throw that damn laptop away, AB. You better log on to AB. We always talk track and field on this show, and we always talk relationships on this show. Let's talk relationships this time. Because you just gave me a bunch of single statements, and I can see why you still in them streets, strong in them streets, too. You like the boulevard. You like the stoplight. Like, you like the sign. I chose Boulevard because you in them streets. Me, happily married, but it ain't always happy times. Let's talk about it. Because when you're single, you start doing things like this. I don't know what stage of single you in, but I remember I went to the first stage of single where I actually described what I was looking for. Ignorant. So this tall, this educated, this looking, from here, likes this. And then you start going out and be like, that box is hard to check with that box. you start be playing out there. It's like Connect Four, but you can't get them all together, right? So you're like, all right, let me start remixing this single statement, right? I know you're there. You're somewhere on this process, in this process. Let's talk about those statements you make. One strike and you're out of here. Oh, if a woman ever does this to me, man, peace. And then get married. And married reality is different than single statements by a long shot. Let me tell you why. Because you accept more. You accept stuff that you said you would never accept. You know why? Because you love them more. How about this, Bruce Arians? Just say it. Damn, Antonio Brown didn't change my mind. Not just in talent, not just in performance, but damn it, I like him more than I thought I would. He's married to Antonio Brown, in part because Antonio Brown threw it on him. He threw them. How many catches? 82. 1,000 yards. You can look at me. 10 touchdowns in one full season. Oh, Antonio Brown has proven who he is. And more importantly, in the history of the game, do you know that Antonio Brown sits behind just Jerry Rice, beast, Julian Edelman, who is postseason Hall of Fame, Michael Irvin, Travis Kelce, and Larry Fitzgerald? They're all there in terms of games over 100 yards and, more importantly, the team's record. Antonio Brown's been valuable. I think now Bruce Arians got to realize from what you are to what I am, that once you're invested in something, things change dramatically. You got anything else to say about that? What I say? Something
Antonio Brown put it on him?
I mean, come on. Even doing them dances and that little thing you be doing. Coming up, Cam Newton's return to the Panthers has been more nightmare than fairy tale. That's the best celebration dance ever. We'll tell you if it's time for him to retire. But first, Cowboys are streaking in the right direction, and we'll tell you if Dak or the defense is more important for their success. That's next on Speak for Yourself. So fire, bro. Cowboys have won 3 straight games and are the number 2 seed in the NFC. And their defense is a big reason why. Dallas is tied first in the league in takeaway. Hear that, Acho? On the other side, they're 13th in total offense since week 9. Hear that, Wiley? And Dak Prescott called the struggles, quote, definitely frustrating. So, Acho, who is more important to the Cowboys' success, Dak or the defense?
It's the defense. False.
Really? Which one?
It's Dak Prescott.
It's Dak?
It's Dak Prescott. It's Dak Prescott still because of this reason. There is no 1985 Bears defense right now in the NFL. There's no 2000 Baltimore Ravens defense. There's no 2012, 2013 Niners defense. No 2015 Panthers defense. The best defense right now in the NFL, Patriots, and we just saw them get exposed. So while the Cowboys defense is very good, there's no defense right now that's just going to shut somebody out. It's going to come down to offensive play. All football games really come to playoff times. Who can make that one play? Who can make that one catch, that one throw, break through that one run? The Cowboys defense I like, but they're not all that stringent. They bend, but they don't break.
Okay.
Right? They're 22nd as far as yards given up. 24th rushing yards given up and like 21st in passing yards given up, but they lead the league in takeaways. That's why when it comes to points given up, they're top 10. Because while they give you all the yards in the world, they're like, go ahead, take these yards. We're going to take that football from you.
Okay.
But you can only get a takeaway if somebody gives it to you. And the quarterbacks the Cowboys are going to have to face aren't about to just come out here giving the Cowboys a football. So Dak Prescott, what you got? Because the quarterbacks in the NFC that I see, Aaron Rodgers, first ballot Hall of Famer. Tom Brady, put him in the Hall of Fame right now. Matthew Stafford, a fringe Hall of Famer. Those are the quarterbacks Dak Prescott's going to have to go up against. Those are the quarterbacks Dak Prescott's defense are going to have to go up against. It's not going to come down to the defense. Defense has done a great job picking on these little kids in the regular season. But when it's time to go against these grown men as it pertains to football players, that's when I'm not convinced the defense is going to get all the takeaways that they're used to getting. Dak is going to have to make a play. I'll give it a little full screen and then I'll pass the rock.
Who are you?
Cowboys have 13 of their 23 interceptions in just 6 games this year against sub-500 teams. But against sub-500 teams, look at the stats. 59 pass rating, 54 completion percentage. Y'all see the numbers. But on the left side is 500 and below. The teams you're going to see in the playoffs are 500 and above. The teams you will see in the playoffs are 500 and above football teams. So while the Cowboys do a great job defensively, they do a great job defensively against the likes of the Saints, against the likes of Washington, against the likes of the Giants. You're not going to see them boys in the playoffs.
Jake Paul again? I love that take. My daughter reposted that take from you. I ain't gonna lie, a little jelly. She don't repost many of mine. I guess I'm just not as good or old. Here's the thing. I'm sitting up here a little fatigued right now.
Okay.
I'm a little tired, especially my shoulders. Because I was up here ready to fight you and hit some flesh. Now I'm just punching in air because we agree. It's Dak Prescott, man. And the best way for me to say this and illustrate this and hopefully get a retweet from my own daughter, damn it, is Dak is the gas pedal. And the defense are the brakes. Now, let's illustrate what that looks like. If I say go somewhere in your car and you jump into that Lexus, I jump into that Tesla, first of all, I'm going to beat you. But we're not going anywhere. I said, now, Dak is the gas. Let's go. But I say, no, it's about the defense. If somebody sat up here and said, it's the defense, come on. All right, hit the brakes first. Let's see where you're going. I've been on number 1 defenses before in games. Number 1 defense for the entire season. In games. They didn't score but 9 points. Yeah, we lost 10-9, damn it. You look at historically at the teams with the lowest scoring defenses. Since the merger, not one of them won the Super Bowl. Not one of them actually went to the Super Bowl. You got to go back. I mean, everybody's 85 Bears. How about 77 Falcons? Who knew that? Lowest scoring defense ever. Missed playoffs. 75 Rams, Steelers, still curtain. Okay, lost in the conference finals. 71 Vikings, 71 Colts. That's old school. Let's go new school. Still, you got one that won the Super Bowl. Those Seahawks, 14.4 points a game. But imagine that. In your best game, which is your averages, all right, we gave up 14. How many times have we seen a team lose 14-10, 14-13? And that's why you can't hit the brakes first and expect the team is going to go far. You got to hit the gas first. I've been there before, especially when I went through the greatest show on turf and those Rams, early 2000s, late 1990s. And you were like, yo, you could see the NFL shift before your very eyes. And it went from defense wins championships to, now just light up the scoreboard, now score the opponent. And I think that's where we are right now. When we look at Dak Prescott, we look at this team, opportunistic defense, applying the brakes when necessary. Yeah, don't run into that. Yeah, slow down around here. But we got to hit the gas, and that's all Dak Prescott.
Yeah, it's also Dak Prescott because talking football fundamentally, which people rarely get to do, is offense is actionary, defense is reactionary. There's a reason that the start of every game, defense, we usually come out with vanilla plays. We got to see what is the offense going to do. We are at the mercy of the offense. Offense got 15 plays scripted to start a game.
Yep.
Defense has no scripted plays.
Can you imagine?
We got to figure out what they doing, so we can react to what they doing. The offense is always in better positions at this point in football. They always say, great throw, great catch beats great coverage every single time. Even in football now, we saw that game yesterday. The rules are created for the offense to win. 180-pound cornerbacks can no longer go low at 350-pound offensive linemen.
Yeah.
It's deemed defensive players blocking an offensive player. Never heard that before in my life. But you can no longer go low at offensive linemen. The game is catered to the offense. So knowing the game is catered to the offense, the game is catered to Dak Prescott. Dak, if the game is catered to you, you have to do the most. It's not about your defense. It would help if the defense can score points, turn over quarterbacks and whatnot, but it's about you, Dak Prescott, putting up points in the pivotal moments. That's why, Stel, right now, I said it before yesterday, I think the Cowboys are kind of a mirage. I'm not sure how the Cowboys are closer to the Cardinals than they are the Packers.
Let's go.
Meaning, I'm not sure how good the Cowboys are because we rave about them because of their record.
Okay.
We rave about them because of their defense. But look at who they've picked on as of late. Taylor Heineke, Mike Glennon, Taysom Hill in his first start this season. Like, that's who the Cowboys have picked on as of late. Meanwhile, Derek Carr lit the Cowboys up.
Okay.
So when I look at it, I'm just like, this Cowboys defense is doing a phenomenal job, particularly taking the ball away. Ball hawks all around the field, linebacker, defensive line, cornerback, safety. But I don't know if those ball hawks are going to be able to get those hands on the footballs when you're going against the likes of Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Matthew Stafford.
Oh, man, now we done found another point of contention. Because we agree it's Dak who has to lead the charge for this team, not the defense. It's the most important position for a reason. It earned that title. It earned that accolade. But you know what else this team has earned? What is done on offense and defense. Let's highlight what they've done on offense and defense. First in yards per game. Second in points per game. So we know they have a tremendous gas pedal in their leader in Dak Prescott. But let's talk about the breaks, because I don't think you're fully applying the pressure and giving the full due to this team defensively. They're top 10 in third down defense, which is money down, top 10 in takeaways, and top 10 in points per game allowed. The most important defensive categories and stats. So now you start to look at this team and realize if you're first, second, and seventh in the most important stats defensively, these are not just simple disc brakes like our parents grew up with, anti-lock brakes. Now they got them Tesla brakes where you don't even know they lock. It's just like you in a golf cart, it stops on you. And I want to talk about what you talked about, because now we start to see it's not a mirage. It's balance, brother. Like, you can say it's a mirage because it seems like that offensively they look a little stronger than they do defensively, where they bend but don't break. But it's really just a balancing act. They're opportunistic on defense. They do well in major statistical categories. But more importantly, they score the second most points and get the first amount of yards. That's a balanced attack. And we can't answer this question and be extreme in our answer and not respect the balance that's necessary to win a championship. As I highlighted before, the top scoring defenses in NFL history have not won a Super Bowl. That said, why is defense so important, but offense is what takes it all the way? Because when you first start off a season, forget starting off a game, start off the season. You remember the first day of training camp? Oh, the defense, we wear the crown. Why? Because we see color, we hit color. We out there playing checkers. Offense, y'all playing chess. It's going to take y'all a minute to work through those complexities before you get to a point where y'all come out with your scripted plays and are able to attack our vanilla coverages. And then defense has to react to that, to your point, and then we just play this cat and mouse game the entire way through. But if you look at this Dallas Cowboys team, their Achilles heel used to be defense. Now you can see that's one of their strengths. But still, their strong suit, the thing that they're going to be known for and the thing that's going to take them over the hump is the Dak Prescott-led offense and that gas pedal.
I feel all that, but I just got to caution you like I got to caution these fans. Remember, against the Giants, 4 turnovers the Cowboys forced. Against Washington, 4 turnovers the Cowboys forced. Earlier in the season, against the Eagles, 2 turnovers the Cowboys forced. Earlier in the season, against the Giants, 2 turnovers the Cowboys forced. Cowboys, 4, 8, 10, 12 turnovers they have forced against those 4 games, against those 2 opponents, 3 opponents, and those 4 games. You're not going to see those guys again. And so I'm just like, you keep picking on these lesser opponents.
Okay.
I'm just mindful of the fact that you're not going to see those guys again. So these 4 turnovers that you forced, just last game, the Cowboys forced 4 turnovers. Aaron Rodgers has thrown 4 interceptions all season.
Is that a lot?
All season.
That ain't a lot.
So y'all turned Taylor Heineke and company over. Y'all turned Mike Glennon and company over 4 times. Heineke and company over 4 times. Rodgers has 4 interceptions all season. It's going to be unstoppable force, immovable object. Question is who you got your money on. I just don't have my money on the fact of you're not seeing Heineke, you're not seeing Hurts, you're not seeing Mike Glennon. So I feel you, Sel, is like, yeah, give this defense their credit, and I am. Because points is the ultimate thing that ultimately matters. I've been on defenses that bend but don't break. But it's not as though this defense is that Seahawks defense you're referencing.
No.
When push comes to shove, it's on you, Dak Prescott. When push comes to shove, you got to make the throw. You got to make the play. You have to convert on 3rd down. Let's not get it twisted. The defense right now is the dessert. But Dak Prescott, you still the main course. You still the $40 million man.
You almost held up the entire segment and kept it positive on Dallas. You almost did, but you had to leak a little bit of that self-hate, that Dallas love that you don't have. All I will say to that is, and not to be argumentative, is just the Washington football team that represented this division last year went into the playoffs, went against the eventual Super Bowl champions, down 5 in the 4th quarter, kept it close against the best team out there because obviously Tampa Bay Bucs won the championship. I think this Dallas Cowboys team is a better version of that Washington football team of last year. But I also think that the Super Bowl champion Tampa Bay Bucs are a better version of what they were last year. We'll see how that immovable force meets that object and see how this all plays out. Coming up, Aaron Rodgers and the Packers already punched their ticket for the playoffs. We'll tell you if they're clearly the best team in the NFC. Damn, Aaron Rodgers look old. That's next on Speak for Yourself. Do I look that old? Christmas Day on Fox, Baker Mayfield and the Browns take on Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. Then catch Coach Cardinals on NFL Network. It's a Christmas Day doubleheader on Fox, NFL Network, and streaming on Prime Video. And speaking of Christmas Day, Terry Bradshaw is giving away a house on the Fox Bet Super 6 app. Scan the QR code and enter your picks in the Christmas special contest. Then opt in to the house giveaway sweepstakes for your chance to win. One lucky winner will be announced on Christmas during the Browns-Packers game on Fox. Don't miss out. It's $3.99 to play. That's free. Speaking of the Packers, Green Bay is sitting on top in the NFC at 11-3 and are the only team to already clinch a playoff berth. Aaron Rodgers is having another MVP-type season, and his Packers are currently tied with the Chiefs for the best odds to win the Super Bowl, according to Fox Bet Sportsbook. So, Acho, are the Packers clearly the best team in the NFC?
Absolutely, and it's for one reason. Matt LaFleur. Packers with Matt LaFleur, They are on the brink of their 3rd straight 12-win season, being 1 win away from 3 12-win seasons. Keep in mind, during Mike McCarthy's 11-year tenure, they only had 12 wins twice. So understand who you have in head coach Matt LaFleur. Understand that with Matt LaFleur, the Packers have the best record in the NFL since Matt LaFleur has taken over. Understand that under Matt LaFleur, the Packers are 20-2 at home. Understand with Matt LaFleur, the Packers are currently the 1 seed, meaning they will host every playoff game at home. Best home record under Matt LaFleur. Best overall record under Matt LaFleur. Hosting every playoff game at home under Matt LaFleur. The Packers are absolutely the best team in the NFL right now, and it's not even close. Why else are the Packers the best team in the NFL? Because the Packers have shown us that in a year filled with chaos, they can stand the test of all the chaos and all the calamity. The Packers go to Arizona without all of their receivers except for Randall Cobb, and they find a way to win that game on a short week.
Let's go,
Well,
Packers.
the Packers also are 7-0 without Devontae Adams under Matt LaFleur. So you can take Devontae Adams from me and leave everybody, or you can take everybody and leave Devontae Adams. But either way, Aaron Rodgers is okay and finds ways to win football games. The Packers truly only need Aaron Rodgers to win. And what we know at this junction in time, Rodgers has already missed a game due to COVID. We have not seen a player nor a coach contract COVID twice within the calendar football season, within the same calendar football season. So Rodgers statistically is unlikely to miss another game. Clearly the best team in the NFL, and they can stand all the tests.
Oh, man, they're not clearly the best team in the NFC. You went NFL. We could go either way. You said absolutely they are. Never talking absolutes. We had this discussion already in the A block. You agreed in the A block. I wonder what you're going to do right now in the C block. Disagree, probably. Never talking absolutes, my man, Acho. And put some respect on Mike McCarthy's name, because you're trying to run up Matt LaFleur like, oh, he Mike McCarthy. And Mike McCarthy just says, this ain't because I'm buried, baby. You see this ring? Where's your thing? Where's yours, Matt LaFleur? Best record, give you that. Put him in position, give you that. But something about that hump seems like it's just a little too daunting for them to get over so far in this short career together. Aaron Rodgers and Matt LaFleur, that is special. I give you that. I'm not trying to argue that. But are they the best team in the NFC? No. The best team in the NFC still wears the crown. Still is champions and still is favored to win it all again this year. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Let's talk about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus these Green Bay Packers. Now, the problem with the Green Bay Packers, it's only compared to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm splitting hairs here. I'm in the heavens now talking about how great the Packers are and how great the Buccaneers are. But the closer you look, the farther they are. Tom Brady is the master of the moment. When you look at Aaron Rodgers, he's the master of getting to that moment. And then he's 1-4 in those moments. Where Tom Brady, he already has 7 of these things we were talking about before. So what's going to happen to Aaron Rodgers? He's going to be feeling it from his head to his toe. From his head to his broken toe. Because think about it. In your head, you're thinking 1-4. I don't give a damn who the coach is. Something just ain't right. 20% success rate when it matters most? Come on, big dog. Let's talk some football right here. Because when you look at another team, we always try to unpack the other team. We try to undress them in your mind. Because, look, they're formidable. You know that the Buccaneers are going to be there. The path is going to be daunting. You look at yourself versus the Buccaneers, you realize, oh, they got a better scoring offense than us. They score the most points in the league. What do? We're 14th. We're mid-pack. Oh, okay. But Aaron Rodgers is better than Tom Brady. Yeah, but Tom Brady has more passing yards than Aaron Rodgers. He has more passing touchdowns than Aaron Rodgers. And he's been sacked fewer times, so he's going to be cleaner than Aaron Rodgers. Where can you undress the Buccaneers and say, okay, we're better than that team? Especially when that team is the champion. So last time I checked, to be the champ, you got to beat the champ. And I haven't seen this Green Bay Packers, whether on the field or in my mind, beat the champ.
I can undress not only the Bucs, but I can undress every NFC team, and I'll do it like this.
Let's go.
The only thing certain in the National Football League is uncertainty. That's the only thing that is certain at all, is the uncertainty. But I'm certain that Aaron Rodgers can ball in the midst of uncertainty.
Okay.
Aaron Rodgers, again, remember what he has done without his receivers. Right now, he has no Randall Cobb. We scoff at Randall Cobb, but all Aaron Rodgers needed to beat the Arizona Cardinals in Arizona on a short week was Randall Cobb. Keep in mind, Dak Prescott, how does he look without CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper? Can't win a game. Matthew Stafford, how did he look the games following Robert Woods' departure of injury? Couldn't get right. Tom Brady, how did he look without Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and Leonard Fournette? Couldn't score a point. Meanwhile, Aaron Rodgers, how does he look without his plethora of stars? Fine. Give him just 1 star. Fine. Take away that 1 star. Fine. The NFL is based upon uncertainty. That's the entirety of the league. The playoffs, more than the regular season, fully based upon uncertainty. Playing the game of football in the middle of a global pandemic makes even uncertainty more uncertain. Hey. But Aaron Rodgers, in the midst of all of this uncertainty, you are certain that he's still going to ball. And that's just what he's done. So knowing that we know nothing, that's truly the biggest thing, is we actually know nothing about this NFL season. We don't know when games are going to be played. We don't know who's going to be at the games. We don't know how they're going to be at the games. We got 2 games being played today on a Tuesday. And we never will
off day?
On an off day. 2 games being played today.
Facts.
All we know is that we don't know. So if you're telling me, okay, big dog, all you know, Acho, all y'all know, fans at home, is that you don't know, then you better bank on the one thing you do know. And the one thing you do know is that Aaron Rodgers, regardless of who shows up and when they show up, more often than everybody else and more often than not, he gonna ball.
More than Tom Brady?
Yeah, you saw Tom last week, big dog.
They've won 4 of the last 5, but you want to pick last week. Okay, let's do this. Since you want to say, let's prop up the Green Bay Packers because when they were undermanned, they beat the Arizona Cardinals, who now, if you look at it, they're 3-4 in their last 7. After starting 7-0, they're 3-4. So a losing team in the last 7 that started with the Green Bay Packers going out there undermanned and getting that victory. The best of victories now, looking back hindsight, I would question that. So I look at Aaron Rodgers. I look at Tom Brady. I look at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and look, it's a different sample size. They've only been in the playoffs one time since 2007. Like, you know what I mean? It's Tom Brady when he shows up. All of a sudden, oh, we made the playoffs. You got to respect that Aaron Rodgers has been there multiple times, and you say he balls through inconsistency or the things that we don't know or the unfortunate. How about when things are just given to you? How about when Aaron Rodgers has the number 1 team? How about when Aaron Rodgers is 15-1? How does Aaron Rodgers do? So I don't want like unfavorable circumstances to see your best. I want to see your best when you're supposed to be the best. More importantly, he doesn't measure up to Tom Brady. Like, we're in the heavens now. But as Brett Favre said, I think that Aaron Rodgers is the most talented playmaker at the position ever. Potentially, yes. But this is not the same as comparing him to Tom Brady, really. Tom Brady has 7 of those things. No matter how you look at it, he has 7 of those accomplishments where Aaron Rodgers has 1. And it's not like Aaron Rodgers hasn't been in position to win more than 1. It's just somehow, some way, he's always fallen short. More importantly than falling short, because it's not all on Aaron Rodgers, you look around and you start to say, what's going to be important in the playoffs? What's going to be important in terms of this team truly representing the NFC and being the best team? When you look in the red zone, they're 29th in terms of red zone percentage and getting touchdowns and scoring. You look at them on third down, they're 8th. Here's the problem. Tampa Bay is number 2 and number 3. There's this Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady. Team over team. Well, probably Green Bay right now because of record, but that's the champs who are 1 game behind them in record. So I just don't see enough where you have tipped the scales and tilted them to where Aaron Rodgers and the Packers are the favorites.
I'll say it like this. You know the Packers are more than likely going to host the NFC Championship game once again.
I feel that.
We also know that the Bucs, for them to win a Super Bowl again this year, they'd have to win back-to-back Super Bowls. We've only seen that once since the turn of the century.
Yeah. Who did it?
That once. Tom Brady did it. Tom Brady absolutely did it, but we still only seen it once. Though Tom Brady has 7 Super Bowls in his 20-plus years of play, he's only won back-to-back once. He's also only won 7 in 20. I say only now, putting in perspective of it's still less than 50%. So all stats say that Tom Brady is unlikely to win it again. Just statistical metrics. Then it comes down to, do you really think Aaron Rodgers and Matt LaFleur are going to lose an NFC Championship game again at home?
They do.
Back to
do that
back
well.
NFC Championship games
that
at home.
well.
But they don't usually host.
Well,
they lose it well, but they don't usually host.
Let's talk about 2 things, some misnomers. I don't know. You tell me. I know Vegas is going to disagree with me, but so what? Vegas loses too. Damn it. One is this home versus road advantage, because we got to talk about it because we're former players. And 2, when a team travels to you in this unfavorable weather and they like, yo, y'all got the advantage because y'all in the cold and y'all play here. In Buffalo, I was just like, dog, y'all might have an advantage too because I've been practicing at a lower tempo for a few days because of the inclement weather. So what I want to dispel is, if you keep playing at home, you're going to end up winning. No, you got to perform at home. You got to perform on the road. Being on the road sometimes is an advantage to you. You get away from the family. You get away from your normalcy. You get to go somewhere and it's a business trip and you get to lock in. Versus when you're at home, man, you driving. It could be in the playoffs, you driving and someone's like, my tickets ain't there. You're like, dog, I'm at home and you're dealing with, I may be late because the wife is still downstairs and the kids. I just think playing at home, I think it gets a little too good of a rap sometimes.
I think it depends on where the home is. I think that Lambeau advantage is a huge advantage. Now, you played in Buffalo and you went to school in Columbia, so it's different, right? Your boy grew up in Texas. Then I go to Cleveland. I didn't know some of the true rules, some of the tricks to playing in the cold. It was not until I went to Green Bay, which is why I was so surprised when the whole world made a big deal out of whoever did it last week. It wasn't until I went to Green Bay that I realized to play in a wetsuit. The wetsuit, what the surfers wear. You just cut the neck so you have a little bit of breathing room. It wasn't until I played in Lambeau that I realized lather your entire body in Vaseline because Vaseline insulates. It wasn't until I played at Lambeau that I realized, hey, Acho, put Vaseline on your hands, then put on a latex glove, then put on your game glove, and that will help ease the cold of your hands. But you're still going to be cold. Some people don't realize those tricks if you don't have to play in those cold weather environments. That's a good point. So I think it's those small things coupled with the fact of more can go wrong when you have to travel, and now you got the chef on the road, and now you're getting food poisoning. Now the hotel alarm randomly goes off at your hotel. Happened to me when we flew from Philly to play the Niners. Floors 4 and floor 9, the fire alarm went off. For whatever,
so happened to be where the players are.
So happened to be that. So I do think the Packers have a huge advantage by being at home, particularly with Matt LaFleur and Rodgers being 20-2 at home. I think it matters, especially when you look at who might they have to play. Cowboys coming from a warm climate. Rams coming from a warm climate. Bucs, again, coming from a warm climate. Cardinals coming from a warm climate. It's not like they're going to see the Eagles, not going to see Washington, not going to see any of those teams. They're going to see warm climate, indoor stadium, Rams, Cowboys, Cardinals. They're going to see warm climate, indoor stadium teams that aren't necessarily used to that cold grind.
It wasn't a great advantage last year, was it? I guess they ain't used no Vaseline, huh? And then there go Tom Brady walking in with a match and a little bit of gasoline. Shout out to Cube. Where you at, boy? Coming up, Cam Newton has not won as a starter since his Carolina return. Oh, God. We're going to do this. We'll tell you if it's time for the former MVP to retire. I don't want to do this. That's next. Don't speak for yourself. Cam Newton threw a pick and was sacked 4 times Sunday against my Bills and is now 0 for 4 as the Panthers starter since his return. And he might be watching from the sideline pretty soon. Sam Darnold is eligible to return after missing the last 5 games, and Matt Rule did not commit to which quarterback will get the nod against the Bucs Sunday on Fox. So, Acho, should Cam Newton retire off?
I don't want to do this, man. I don't want to do this.
You don't want to do this?
I don't want to do this, y'all. Where's my one shot? Where's my one shot?
Money ain't that serious, man. It ain't that important.
I got to talk to Cam, man.
Oh, don't do it.
Look, Cam, either you have to retire or I have to retire. But somebody got to retire. I can't keep coming on this show having to talk bad about a man who I have a great affinity for as a football player. Cam Newton, either you have to retire or I have to retire because we both have a job to do. And I'm trying to do mine well, but I can't do mine well and still sleep well at night based on how you playing. Cam, I don't want to have to come on this show and talk about the fact that you have the worst completion percentage we've seen since 2004. I don't want to come on this show and talk about the fact that Cam Newton could spike the ball on every play and still have a higher passer rating. I don't want to come on this show and have to talk bad about Cam Newton. So somebody has to retire. Something got to give. Either Cam got to go or I got to go. Now, Cam's made a lot more money than me over the course of his career than I have over the course of mine, so I am not in a position to retire. Cam, however, you in a position to retire.
Yo,
I need this job. I look at this. Why are we still playing? Like, Cam, what have you gained from this 2021 season? It's not a rhetorical question. I've answered it. I've put it in order. First thing, Cam Newton, you gained an I'm back moment. I'm back. But Cam, you could have just tweeted that. You could have put that on TikTok. You could have put it on IG. You didn't have to play in the NFL for that. Second thing you gained, clarity on your NFL future. But Cam, I could have told you how this was going to play out. Somebody else could have told you how this was going to play out. Last thing you gained, Cam Newton, you gained money. Ooh, you gained you 4.5 guaranteed, $187,000 roster bonus per game. But you just saw that deal Pat McAfee signed. And even if it ain't Pat McAfee, I can tell you, it's a lot more money to be had outside of playing football than there is to be had with playing football. So, Cam, it's not like you need it or the NFL's the only place to make the money. What did you gain, Cam Newton? What did you gain? Still, I don't want to do this block, man.
You don't want to do it?
I don't want to do this block. I don't want to do this topic.
Did you just unbutton Deacon Fry?
I did. Because I'm so tormented by having to discuss. Can you imagine, Marcellus
you button
Wiley?
back up? Yes, sir.
Can you imagine having to come on TV and talk bad about your son, MJ, who you love.
Man, don't you do this.
Can you imagine? That's what this feels like. Every time I got to come on here and say, man, Cam Newton got Joe Brady as offensive coordinator fired. Cam Newton, he ain't got it no more. Cam Newton just isn't it anymore. All Cam Newton is good for is memes on social media. Can you imagine the pain and the agony I deal with every single day? And yet here I am dealing with it once again. So I'm not going to say that Cam has to retire, but if Cam don't retire, I got to retire. And I don't want to retire.
Well, it sounds like you can't retire the way you say it because Cam make more money than you need. You just
I got bills.
Boy, bills. You got a mortgage, and that's a big-ass mortgage. That's one of them jumbo loans. You're going to be here talking about Cam and talking bad about Cam for a long time. What the hell? I knew we were in trouble with this conversation when you gave me the prayer hands. When Acho got the prayer hands, empathy is abound. Man, look. Oh, hell no, Cam Newton should retire. Now, I'm going to say that in terms of just my philosophy in life. We're playing a child's game when we're playing the game of football. I started when I was 8 years young, Inglewood Football League, right? I played for the Inglewood family tree teams, the Mohawks and Aztecs and Chiefs and the Redskins. They don't even got the damn team anymore. And I went through the ranks. And then when I made it to the NFL, I played 10 years. And I left on my terms. And that's me. Cam Newton? Oh, brother, you leave when you ready to leave. You ball till you fall. Because everybody's going to counter that and say, oh, what about your legacy? Look, legacy is for y'all. Memories for me. And last time I checked in this world, Acho, this world loves givers. You know why this world loves givers?
Defenses do too.
Giveaways.
Newton is the biggest giver of them all.
Oh, I'm going to counter that too. But this world, my philosophy first, this world loves givers.
Sir.
If you give me your hard work, you give me your focus, you give me your attention, you give me your talents, your desire, your determination,
sir.
Oh, this world will give back to you because this world loves givers. It will give exactly what you gave it. So Cam Newton, in terms of philosophy, don't you dare retire. Fall till you fall. Now let's talk about performance. Even stronger case not to retire. Let's talk about Cam Newton. I don't know. Since the last season when it was all bad, people said in New England. Since Cam Newton was a starter in New England, and that includes this year, you know there have been quarterbacks with more losses than him. Tell me if these guys should retire. Joe Burrow. Carson Wentz. Look at your face. My MJ is your Carson Wentz because you love that dude. Justin Herbert. That's my other MJ, my brother from another. Matt Stafford has more losses than Cam Newton since the start of last season. Kirk Cousins. He won last night. Still, the stat is true. Point being, since last year, New England, there have been quarterbacks out there losing at worse clips than Cam Newton. Now let's talk about Cam Newton this year. 9 total touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Oh, Acho laughs. Prayer hands, please, Acho. Prayer hands, please. Do you know that 9 total touchdowns since week 10 is more than, I don't know, Carson Wentz, Russell Wilson. Oh, my God. Derek Carr, he won this weekend. Dak Prescott, he won this weekend. And Tua, he won this weekend. And you trying to tell Cam he the one because he is so dear to your heart because you had Cam posters up and now you're thinking about taking them down that he needs to retire. Hell no. You know what we say in the locker room. Ball till you fall.
I'm going to assume that the rest of the audience is smart enough to realize these quarterbacks have more losses because they played more games. So I'm not going to tell you what Marcellus was.
Damn it. I'm trying to keep Cam alive.
So you know this. You know this better than me. When I came on this show, it's not private information. I think you were in the 280s, 290s, something like that.
That's it? Oh, I lied to you.
You 3? No, you was 3 stacks.
I was 3 stacks.
First couple pounds, I would assume, probably flew off, right? 300 to 290, 280.
Well, they sweat off, but...
Sweat off, right, but it was quick. But when you start to get to like 260, 255, it's probably harder to lose weight. I would assume.
Yeah, I'm trying to make this difficult on you because it was difficult for me to lose the weight, damn it. But yes.
I would assume.
Yes.
Why? Because that's the law of diminishing returns.
Okay.
The more you put into something, there comes a point in time where you start to get less out of it. Now, that happened for you, Marcellus Wiley, but unfortunately, it's happened for Cam Newton.
Oh, where you going?
I'm going to the big.
You about to lose some weight too, huh?
I'm going to the big boy. This is going to break my heart.
Oh, don't you do that.
It's going to break my heart.
Your poster up.
This is going to break my heart. I don't want to do this, man. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. Newton is coming face to face with the law of diminishing returns, and that is why it is in the best interest of Cam Newton to figure out the future of his football career. The harder Cam Newton is working, the less Cam Newton is getting out of his work. Because this season, we've seen career lows in everything. Passer rating, worst. Yards per game, career lows in everything, worst. Yards per attempt, come on, Cam, you can do that. Worst. Touchdown to interception ratio, second worst.
Oh, that ain't the worst.
Completion percentage. Come on, Cam. I need it. I need it. Be good for me. Be good for me. Worst. The harder Cam Newton is working, the less he's getting out of his work. It's the law of diminishing returns. And the only way to trump that law is to retire. We got to do something, Sal, because I can't keep coming up talking bad about Cam. I can't do it. I won't do it. I'd rather play what Mike Singletary say about Vernon Davis. I need that Mike Singletary quote. But I can't do it. I won't do it.
Okay. I don't think you need to do it. And I know you don't want to do it. So why are we doing it? Let's not do this.
Go to break?
No, let's call it like we see it. Cam Newton last year had his second highest completion percentage in his career? Just last year. No offseason, no preseason, no playbook. It was disposable. This year, same thing, no offseason, no preseason. Cam Newton is not looking like Cam Newton, except, let's put that poster back up, except Cam Newton has 17 rushing touchdowns since last year. That's the most among all quarterbacks. Why do I bring that up? Because that's his strong suit right now. Right? So hold on. Can we get Cam Newton in the system and do this? Let's make Voltron. You remember Voltron? Did you remember Voltron? Voltron helped your age? Okay. Let's form, Arm and Lion and Tiger and all. And what they used to do is individually put this thing together and make it all work. Cam Newton, you still have rushing prowess as a quarterback. You're still the best dog at it. Lamar Jackson, obviously, right there with you. But Cam Newton, last year, you were accurate with the football. And Cam Newton, based on circumstances, did a pretty good job winning 7 games in New England as we come to look back in retrospect. All I'm saying is I get it. Like when I had my posters up in college, I had a Jordan poster up because I thought I looked like Jordan, especially 100 pounds ago. I looked like that. I was doing this everywhere, all freshman year. I looked like 6'4", 200 pounds. I looked like Michael Jordan, I thought, with a ball head. But the point is, you can squint and look at Cam Newton in the right system, right situation right now. Get that accuracy from last year and get that rushing prowess that he still possesses, and we can put that wrinkled poster back up on the wall like I did sophomore year.
So let's have the honesty hour for a second. I don't want to answer all these questions myself, and you're a little more free on television than I am. In your experience, why do people play football at a professional level? Just what's one reason? We'll go back and forth. I'll go first. Money.
Money? Oh, wow. They're damn good at it.
Okay.
Beast alternatives.
Great. Another reason I'll throw out there, love of the game.
Because it makes you feel good and look good in this world and your status and your stature, and you get all the ladies, huh?
Bingo. Great. Those are the top 3 I was just waiting. So money, status, love of the game, ladies, whatever the case may be. Cam Newton, not like he needs more money, but not even that. You can make more money outside of playing football. The love of the game. My coach once told me the fun is in winning. Cam Newton is 0-12 as a starter for the Carolina Panthers, so not fun, so that's not it. Ladies, right? Cam Newton, we know that he's a phenomenal father, fathering 7 children last I checked. Cam Newton is not going to have trouble with that issue, so that's not it. So as I look at it, the predominant reasons that both Marcellus and I have come up with through a collective 14 years of playing football. I only played 4, but I'm going to claim his 10. Through a collective...
Using all my 10 up, get to 14.
Through a collective 14 years of pro ball play for the status, for the love of the game, for the ladies, for whatever the case may be. Yeah. And Cam Newton, he's already proven he's great. He can go make more money. I don't think he would struggle in the other areas of significant others. So there's truly, legitimately, no reason for Cam Newton to keep playing football.
There is.
He is tarnishing the memories and he's tarnishing the legacy.
The memories.
Everything is tarnished.
Not for him, because he knows the investment, and those closest to him respect that investment. Let's talk for real personal. Okay. Because one, I think you're making, It's a lazier assumption that you could convert genius like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Cam is a genius at playing the game of football, right? One of the best to ever do it. Let's respect that. That said, to convert that to something else, you're like, there's more money out there. But yeah, his genius is what he's been doing so far. Not too many people are multi-layered like that, and I'm not doubting Cam. But maybe he can do it. But why give up on one to go do the other when I still got a little left in terms of toothpaste in that tube? Two, I've heard people talk about you, Acho. Tell me if they right. Tell me if you right.
Talk about me, sir.
A lot of people try to pull you in a lot of different directions. You're young and you're on top and you're doing your thing. You're multi-Emmy winner, blah, blah, blah. And most importantly, you work with me. Damn it, everybody want to work with you when they work with me. But they all say, Acho, where's your podcast? Acho, where's this? Where's that? And Acho is doing what Acho wants to do, right? And Acho has a plan. And Acho is doing that according to his plan, right? Would you let somebody put their fingerprint on your plan and actually move your plan away from what you desire?
Oprah.
Yeah, that's a good point. All right. Hey, Cam, call Acho to get Oprah's number and then retire. Coming up, the Browns playoff took a dip. Why didn't you say that earlier in the damn segment? After Monday's loss with a depleted roster, tell you what we make of Cleveland's season. Next on Speak for Yourself. He got his daddy. They're going to be midfield. They're going to run. The Browns' playoff hopes took a major hit yesterday after losing to the Raiders on a game-winning field goal. Cleveland, without head coach Kevin Stefanski and their top two quarterbacks due to COVID, are now sitting at 7-7. And things don't get easier for them as they take on Aaron Rodgers and the Packers on Christmas Day. So, Acho, what do you make of the Browns season?
The Browns season was a waste. It was a waste. These last two topics I'm passionate about. The Browns season was a waste. We so often hear, I don't take losses, I take lessons. I like to subscribe to that. Okay. Even in the midst of my losses, I want to learn something. Yeah. Well, we know the Browns lost a whole lot more games this year than last year, so fine. I'm going to start looking for the lessons. As a player who was drafted to the Browns, let me find some lessons, Browns fans. Let's find a silver lining. What did we learn about Baker Mayfield this year?
Okay.
Nothing. What did we learn more about Kevin Stefanski this year? Nothing. What did we learn about the Browns' offensive line and run game this year? Nothing new. What did we learn about the turmoil with Odell Beckham this year? Nothing new. We didn't learn anything. So even while the Browns accrued so many losses, let's at least find some lessons. We didn't learn anything. I still have just as many questions about Baker Mayfield this year as I had about him last year. I know the running game is good this year. I know the O-line when healthy is good. I know Myles Garrett is good. I know Denzel Ward is good. I know we still got questions at inside backer. I know at safety we still got questions. There was nothing this year that as a Browns fan I learned. So not only did I not learn, now I took losses. So I can't even look for a silver lining in my losses and assume I learned a lesson because I didn't do that. As I look at the Browns season this year, it was a waste unless they make the playoffs. Make the playoffs, I take all my words back. But assuming they do not make the playoffs, it was a waste.
I can't go that far. I can't go waste. I can't go trash, Basila. I can't. You know why? Because I think this was just a major disappointment. And you know why it's a major disappointment? Because once again, we're on a roller coaster again. And it's funny about being on a roller coaster, it can seduce you to the highs and lows because you expect them. But in reality, you shouldn't have to go through a season. You shouldn't look at a team, a franchise, an organization the same way it feels like being on a roller coaster. But that's what this situation is. It's been a major disappointment. What's been greater? Name the team that's been more disappointing than the Cleveland Browns this year. I'll wait. Anybody? And I don't have to take this take back, no matter if this team makes the playoffs or not, because if they make the playoffs, it didn't have to be this damn difficult. And that's why I have an issue with this team. I'm going to say it like you know I'm going to say it. They're a quarterback away. Just heard early announcements of the Pro Bowl. 2 offensive linemen in the Pro Bowl. They're running back in the Pro Bowl. Pro Bowlers surrounding everywhere. They got a quarterback who's never been to the Pro Bowl. That's no slight. You don't have to make it to the Pro Bowl to be a good player in this league. We get it. That's for the rarefied air, the few. But the same thing that I look at with this team when I start looking at it, you got a Defensive Player of the Year candidate, if not winner, on defense. You got boys over there. You got a squad over there. And then all of a sudden I see it's 5th ranked in total defense. And you got Pro Bowlers surrounding you. What's the issue? People think I hate Baker Mayfield. I'm just telling you like if I were his teammate. Hey, man, everything runs through you. And right now, you are 20th or worse in passer rating, passing yards per game, completion percentage, passing touchdown. But you and expectation shouldn't be 20th or worse, especially in contract times. We know he's coming back for his 5th-year option. So he gets a mulligan of sort because he has to come back. He's going to get paid next year. Let's see what he's about. But talking about waste, as you said, I think they wasted the opportunity that makes this all, to me, a major disappointment.
But so, what is a disappointment in life without a teachable moment? A disappointment in life without a teachable moment is just pain. It's just heartache. It will just lead you to more disappointment. That's why, to me, it's a waste, man. Like, I'm looking at these Browns.
Yeah.
And they had one of the most talented rosters in the National Football League start of the season. I would say top 3. I would have said a greater roster than the Cowboys because I didn't know how good Michael Parsons was going to be.
Okay.
So I would have said Browns roster, Bucs roster, Rams roster.
Yes.
To me, those were like top to bottom rosters in the NFL. Browns right up there with you. Defensive Player of the Year candidate, great pass rusher Myles Garrett. Cornerback who's locked down. Running backs, best in the offensive football. Offensive line, phenomenal. And Odell Beckham that is clearly still talented. So one of the greatest rosters in football, and you 7-7. Come on, man. Like,
average.
There's nothing I can take from this season. Typically, even you want to learn something about Kevin Stefanski. We didn't. Matt LaFleur, his second year, we realized, he nice. Sean McVay, his second year, he in the Super Bowl. On the flip side, Hugh Jackson, by his second year, he can't cut it here. Even in coaches' second years, we learned something about a coach. Stefanski in this second year, I don't know if he's better than I thought he was last year, worse than I thought he was last year. This is just a year. Time went and time has gone, time has come and time has left, and I know nothing new about the Browns organization. It's literally like, it was a disappointment, but
major.
Being a disappointment is meshed into it was a waste. Because a disappointment without a lesson from that disappointment, to me, is purely just a waste of my time.
Okay. Let's reset this. First of all, I won this argument. You know why? Because I've been telling you about Baker Mayfield, and I told you Baker Mayfield around is not going to be exactly as you predicted. You used to hang your hat on, and I love this about it. Man, Baker Mayfield shows up, balls, and all of a sudden, this is the first time the Browns have made the playoffs since. You know what's crazy right now? If things go according to plan, like according to this schedule, we're going to be able to say that again. The Browns haven't made the playoffs since because they're not going to make it this year. Here we go again. You know Lil Wayne. I know Lil Wayne. He's the first person I ever heard say this to me on the phone. Like, I've seen some, he was like, you say something to me, he was like, say less. And I was like, I was like, am I that old? Like, what could be say less? I'm about to tell you what's up. Say less. You know what say less means? Ellipsis, do more. Like, let's do it. Like, we ain't got to say no more. Let's do that, right? Baker Mayfield, he don't say less. He be saying a lot. And he be doing a little. He couldn't hang with Lil Wayne. It wouldn't work. Say less. I don't want to hear it about Baker Mayfield anymore. Tua or Baker Mayfield? It should not. Tua.
Yeah, same.
You ever been in a situation, and I know we all do this. I know I do it. I look at somebody, I'm like, dog, I think I'm better than them. But boy, is it adding up better for them. Mm-hmm. You know? I don't know if Tua's better than Baker or Baker's better than Tua, but it's sure adding up better for Tua. 11-7 right now. We look at Baker Mayfield in terms of him. What is going on? 13 touchdown passes this year, 10 giveaways. Like, it's just inconsistency. Captain consistent, inconsistently. So all I'm saying is you're starting to look around. He's already got lapped in his class. You got Lamar Jackson, you got Josh Allen. Then you start looking at guys younger than him, and you start to say, that fifth-year option, boy, you talking about doing this show next year, talk about Baker Mayfield. It's going to be interesting to see how our stomachs feel after that roller coaster ride. Coming up, injuries have hit the Bucs hard. I mean hard. So do they need Antonio Brown to repeat? We'll answer that. Next on Speak for Yourself. The Bucs are bringing Antonio Brown back after he served his 3-game suspension for turning in a fake vaccination card. Yeah, I just read that. And he's cleared to play Sunday against the Panthers. The timing, ironic for Tampa's offense since Chris Godwin is out for the season with a torn ACL and Mike Evans is week to week with a hamstring injury. So, Acho, do the Bucs need Antonio Brown to repeat?
That's a really good question.
I asked it.
They won't even repeat with them, so it's irrelevant.
Oh, dude.
Period.
Ooh.
They won't even
Really?
Whether they have Antonio Brown or he's not enough. So
What?
I don't know if you've ever seen these memes. I'm going to ask y'all this. Y'all think of the answer yourself. Is there a person, Sel, if I was like, okay, I guarantee you $10 million if you call this person, they will not pick up. They can't pick up.
I'm
You're
the
not allowed to
person.
call yourself.
Oh.
If you call this person and they don't pick up, you get $10 million. Who is the person you are calling? They can't pick up.
They can't pick up at all.
They can't pick up.
They
if
would
they
never
pick
pick up.
You lose the money. So you call them.
My first fiance, I guarantee, first I don't know her number, but if I did, she ain't picking up. Oh, hell was paid. We went through it.
Why? Because there are people in lives, and I'm not sure that y'all's answers are your first fiancés, but there are people in lives you just know you can't depend on them. Like, I know if I'm in a crunch, if I'm in a bunch, if something going down, I know who I am not calling. Antonio Brown is that person you are not calling.
What are you talking about, Willis?
Need something?
What?
You really want to have to depend on Antonio Brown? The same Antonio Brown who didn't play in Oakland because he wanted a certain helmet because his feet was frostbitten. The same Antonio Brown who had a fake vaccine card. The same Antonio Brown who was with the Bills roster for all of 20 hours. Like, that Antonio Brown is who you want to depend on, who you want to put the fortune of your Super Bowl hopes in that Antonio Brown's hands. Now, when Antonio Brown is on the football field between those white lines, surely I will depend on him. But as it stands right now, a guy who's coming off a 3-game suspension, hasn't played since week 6 because he's been hurt. I don't want to depend on Antonio Brown.
What?
Whether AB is present or not, the Bucs are not repeating, period. So it's cute to have Antonio Brown back, and Antonio Brown, I'm sure, might give you a couple 100-yard games to end the season versus lesser opponents, but they not repeating with him. So it don't matter whether they have him back or not.
Man, you trying to take me all different places, and I just want to go here. I just want to go to the store. You know, everybody's, I got to go to the store and get something. You know what I got to go get? Go get AB. You know why I need AB? Because I need that type of receiver on my team. He's still prolific, dog. He's still, as I read off, 16 games as a Tampa Bay Buccaneer, 1,000 yards, basically 10 touchdowns. And more importantly, Tom Brady and AB, say what you want about this relationship, this couple. They like their marriage. Let's look at this full screen right here with Tom Brady and his passer rating by receiver. Oh, everybody want to talk about Mike Evans with his hamstring, and Giovanni Bernard and Gronkowski and Chris Godwin. You know who he loves the most? The one he brought in, the one he vouched for, the one he's still throwing the ball to the best, Antonio Brown. Acho, you know football too well, and you know people too well to come up here and say, he didn't last in Oakland. The Raiders? With all the racism and... No, let me stop. Had to get the joke off. He didn't want to go to Buffalo. Buffalo. I respect Buffalo. I was drafted there, so I didn't have a choice. But young Josh Allen at the time, and, hey, y'all got Stephon Diggs. I need to go somewhere where I could be that dude. And guess where he is? With the guy, the GOAT, and he is that dude. Let's talk about this situation in depth. You know what's going to happen if you don't have AB on your team and you have no Chris Godwin, you just got Gronkowski and a hamstring with Mike Evans? Let me tell you what we're going to run out. You know about this. Nickel package? No, no, no. Dime package? No, no, no. Stud package. You know what stud package is? It's all the guys that can run but not play football as well. They're all on kickoff. They all wear number 43. They're all 6'2", 6'3", 220. And they fast and they big, but they can't stop. But you know what they can do? They can glue themselves on Gronkowski. Gronkowski's going to be trying to run them short intermediate routes, doing all that. And it's just going to be all these big studs sitting there saying, good luck with this. Now where are you going to go with the ball? Mike Evans is compromised, and Mike Evans doesn't take the top off of a defense. You need Antonio Brown. He still has juice. He still can exploit the defense. And more importantly, him and Tom Brady have the best relationship of all the receivers.
If they were going to repeat, they absolutely do need Antonio Brown, right? But the contingency is based upon them repeating.
You don't want to give them a chance to repeat? That's your conversation?
Here's why. So you told me something yesterday, and whenever you give me a stat, I have to fact check it. Why? Because people will be DMing me like, hey, Acho, what Marcellus Wiley said was false, man. Why you let him slide with that? So now I got to fact check.
You going to let them come between us?
Sometimes.
All right, let's go.
You told me something. You said the last time a team won a Super Bowl but didn't have a win streak of 5 games or longer in the regular season was 2012. Yeah, 6 games or longer in the regular season, 2012. Bucs only got a 4-game win streak all season.
Don't you do this.
As soon as they get started, they stop. Who has win streaks longer than the Bucs this regular season? And just in the NFC, Cowboys do. Packers, they do. Cardinals, they do. Rams have a win streak just as long. Let's go AFC. I know the Chiefs do. They're in the midst of one right now. I know the Patriots do. Yeah. So if you have to win 4 games or more during the regular season or 6 games or more during the regular season in order to win a Super Bowl. That's what stats the last decade have shown us. Then the Bucs are not on track to do that. Now, you might be like, Acho, that's dumb. That's an arbitrary stat. That's kind of what I thought when you first said it.
You thought it was dumb?
Then let's break it down. I thought the stat was dumb. I think you're very intelligent. It behooves you to practice something before you got to do something.
Facts.
If I'm about to go out there and run a mile, it would help if I've run a mile before. Like running a lap is cool, running 2 laps are cool, but it would help to have run a mile before so your body, your mind, your emotional state are used to going that distance, exerting that energy over that amount of time. To win a Super Bowl, you got to play 4 games. Wild card, divisional, championship, Super Bowl. You got to play 4 games. That is why, more likely than not, that stat is sufficient. Because you got to win 4 games. The Bucs have only won 4 all season.
That's all we need.
Second they get rolling.
That's all we need.
Washington.
Second
they get rolling, beat the Cowboys. Beat the lose a game. The second they get rolling, they lose again. I'm not convinced that the Bucs would repeat with AB. But if you just want to say, Acho, the Bucs are going to repeat, AB or not, and of course AB. They're just not going to do it with him.
Well, in part, AB has been injured this year, suspended this year, whatever you want to say this year. It's been an up and down year. But it's still adding up for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in terms of them being in position to do what they did last year. Certainly in a better position this year than they were even last year. That's what I respect about this team. Here's the thing. Have you run a lap lately? You just brought up.
It's been a minute.
Yo, could you break 2 minutes? I couldn't break 2 minutes.
Yeah, I could break 2 minutes.
Oh, really?
So you're slow now.
What you mean? I'm faster than you. I don't know.
Look, we can put money on.
You want to put money on me and you running the 400?
Facts.
Okay, how much you want? I'm losing that race. When did they make a lap so long? I was like, God, I was young back in those days. And you know who was still playing like they're young? Antonio Brown. Here's the thing. If you look at their relationship, Tom Brady and Antonio Brown, you look at what a defense is looking at without Antonio Brown and with Antonio Brown, it's a completely different complexion. This is why you got to have Antonio Brown. This is why you got to put yourself in position to repeat. Putting yourself in position to repeat, who is the team, which team that you really are sitting there saying you have to fear? It sounds like the Green Bay Packers. Why the Green Bay Packers when the Green Bay Packers have 2 opponents? 1, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We got to beat them. 2, we got to make sure we don't beat ourselves in terms of our minds playing tricks on us. They're 1-4 with Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers the Great has you 1-4. If you had to race me 5 times and I beat you 4 of the 5 times, you think you're going to walk to the start line of the 6th time with supreme confidence? You're going to be sitting there saying, look, as my coach said, don't get psyched out. I got to beat Marcellus, but more importantly, don't let Acho beat himself in terms of thinking about those moments. I don't know. Until Green Bay shows me, I believe in the Tampa Bay Bucs more than Green Bay.
But here's what I think about this AB situation. I view the AB situation like I view the Kyrie Irving situation. Those that ain't the basketball fans, y'all know Kyrie Irving. At first, they were like, hey, you can play road games, but you can't play home games in New York because you're not vaccinated.
Okay.
Now, all of a sudden, the Nets are like, no, Kyrie, you can at least play games with us on the road. Because the Nets were like, well, Kyrie, if you ain't all in, you all out. Point blank, period. If you're not going to get vaccinated and play with us on the road and play with us at home, we don't want you at all because we need to know who's with us.
Okay.
That's how I view AB. So AB, we don't know if we can depend on him from Monday to Saturday. We can depend on him on Sunday, beyond the shadow of a doubt. But can we depend on him from Monday to Saturday? AB has shown us over the course of his career, he's not necessarily fully dependable from Monday to Saturday. Let's not just gloss over the fact that the man had a fake vaccination card. It's not like he said he was immunized. Like, he thought he was so smart, yet was so dumb in the midst of thinking he was so smart that he had a fake vaccination card and got caught for having a fake vaccination card. Not because the card couldn't pass, but because he didn't want to pay a chef $10,000, so the chef snitched. If you can operate with that low a level of intelligence, or at least intelligence that plays itself out in real life, I'm not saying that AB is dumb, but he operated with a low level of intelligence in these situations. If you can operate with that low a level of intelligence, so I can't depend on you from Monday to Saturday.
Why not? Because that's not what he's graded on. That's not what's most important. Okay, I'm gonna give you two real stories. I think AB is dependable. Why? Because last year he had 8 catches for 81 yards and 2 touchdowns, including one in the Super Bowl. I think he is dependable because all time he has the 5th most 100-yard games in the postseason. All time. And the guys in front of him, Jerry Rice, Michael Irvin, Julian Edelman, postseason Hall of Famer, and Travis Kelce, beast. Sound dependable to me. But let's talk about this, real. I only got 1 D in school. 1 D, like close to an F. 1 D. It was in handwriting. Now, if you're looking at me through the handwriting lens, then I'm a failing student. I'm a low-level student. Mm-hmm. But everything else that really mattered, math, reading, English, that's not where the D was. Handwriting. And I remember my teacher started to make me feel bad about handwriting. And I took it in. I was internalizing, like, damn, I got a D, feeling bad. And I was like, looked up, nobody writes anything anymore, except me up here still being a nerd. But the point is, everybody texting. And now, look at our kids, next generation. Good luck if they can even ever have a signature, let alone handwriting. Good luck. I think that's what you're doing with AB. AB's a football player. Fake IDs, fake vaccination cards, I am not excusing. But then when I put that on a scale, I say, oh, that's bad. Then I look at his production. I say, oh, that's good. And then I start saying, what am I grading them on? Am I grading them on handwriting?
Fair.
Am I grading them on the real subjects that matter? Catching that damn football.
But you
grade them on that.
You got to do things to get on the field. In college, it's limited. In college, you just have to have, I think, a 2.0 GPA to get on the football field. It's not a super high threshold, but there's still a threshold. You can't play sports if you ain't got a 2.0 GPA.
Facts.
In the NFL, I don't know, just don't do something borderline illegal. You know, just don't have a fake vaccination card.
I think it is illegal.
AB, exactly.
It is.
AB is still, there's still things you have to do to play the game of football.
Facts.
You still have to be, to some degree, a decent citizen. And if you're not a decent citizen, at least don't get caught being an indecent citizen.
Okay.
AB hasn't proven the ability to continually either be a decent citizen, as it's graded by legalities, not by Emmanuel Acho's moral compass, but by the government's moral compass, or to avoid getting caught being an indecent citizen. So, as graded at a football player, straight A's. But you can't get to the football field if you get suspended beforehand.
Facts. All right. Let's agree. You know what AB and choir boys have in common?
What's that?
They both perform on Sunday. But that's the only thing they got in common. You don't need a choir boy in that locker room. You need somebody who can catch. And then after that, find the Lord. Coming up, the Packers are on top in the AFC, but I don't know what AB gonna do when he retires. Oh, man. We'll tell you who's their biggest threat in the conference. Next, don't speak for yourself. I'm still with you, AB, though. I'm still with you. Let's take a look at the NFC playoff picture. Aaron Rodgers and the Packers have won 3 straight games and are on top in the conference, while the Cardinals were stunned by the Lions, while Tampa was shut out by the Saints. Cowboys also have won 3 in a row, and the 9-4 Rams take on the Seahawks tonight. Y'all get all that? So, Acho, who is the biggest threat to the Packers in the NFC?
There's only one legitimized threat in my mind, and it is the Los Angeles Rams.
Still there?
I'm still there. I'm there for a couple reasons. Number one, I said at the beginning of the season, Rams, Chiefs in the Super Bowl, and I'm close, y'all, so I'm going to hang on, even if it is by a thread.
Right.
Number two, the Rams are the only team where I trust their health and I trust their coach. That's the only team right now where I trust their health and I trust their coach. Okay. Cowboys, y'all know me. I don't trust Mike McCarthy. Last time he won a playoff game was actually against the Cowboys, 2016. Cardinals, I don't trust Cliff Kingsbury, and I don't trust Kyler Murray with DeAndre Hopkins out. I don't trust their health, nor do I trust their coach. Bucs, obviously I trust Bruce Arians. Mm-hmm. Don't trust their health, man. Mike Evans, banged up. Chris Godwin, out ACL. Dang, feel bad for my dog. Mm-hmm. Leonard Fournette, hamstring. So I don't trust their health. The Packers are the only team who I trust their health and I trust their coach. Now, you can look at me and say, well, Acho, Jair Alexander, still not back. David Bakhtiari, still not back. Yeah. Packers are banged up, too. Randall Cobb, he's still not back. But in the midst of their injuries, the Packers, they show that they can win. That's why we know the Packers are great. But now it's the Rams. How great do we know or think that they are? Stafford, been in his bag now that he is meshed with Odell Beckham. Odell Beckham, even though he's banged up, 3 touchdowns, 3 consecutive games, bag. Sean McVay, trust him, been in his bag. So I trust the Rams' health. I trust the Rams' coach like I trust the Packers' health, trust the Packers' coach. Only threat to the Packers in my mind in the NFC, Rams.
I think it's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Let's use your words and use them against you. I trust the coach, and I trust that quarterback. Got to trust Tom Brady, right? In excess. Also, I trust what's in front of them in terms of the health, in terms of them getting right going forward. They've won 4 of the last 5, but more importantly, they have the NFL's easiest schedule going forward. So let's say you won 7 of the last 8 going into the playoffs. Sounds like a hot streak to me. Reflecting back on last year, seems like they were on the same type of win streak, except they didn't even lose a game after going 7-5. That said, you trust Tom Brady more than any other quarterback out there. He has 7 rings to tell you if you're doubting, you should trust him. But more importantly, more than even Aaron Rodgers. More yards, more passing touchdowns, and gets hit less. Sacked fewer times than Aaron Rodgers. You add all that up, I'm holding on to what I said early in the season as well. Tampa Bay versus the Buffalo Bills. And the Buffalo Bills one is the one I have a little doubt over, not the Tampa Bay one. If you look at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, this is a team that already did it and are on a greater pace to repeat. And they have the same quarterback who's the last to repeat. So it's just all adding up if you want to look at it in terms of being mystical and looking at the stars in the universe. Wait a minute. You got a coach who's won a Super Bowl just last year. You got a quarterback who's won 7 of them. And the last time a team went back-to-back was that same quarterback in a different situation. It just seems like he has the Midas touch. It seems like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in prime position, pole position, do it again.
But now I'm going to the aspect of like matchups.
Let's go.
I don't know that Brady can go blow for blow with Rodgers with the decimated roster. I'm just not convinced that Brady can go out there with an AB who hasn't played since week 6.
Okay.
With a Mike Evans who has a hamstring. Mike Evans, we already know already isn't a burner. Don't know if that'll help play with him or against him. But I don't know that Tom Brady can go out there and match Rodgers blow for blow. Stafford, we know for sure can. We know for certain that anything you can do, Rodgers, Stafford can't do better, but he can do almost as well with the help of Sean McVay. So when I start to look at the matchups, I'm like, wait a second. I definitely like the matchup that the Rams can give the Green Bay Packers. Green Bay Packers, I do think, are head and shoulders above everybody else, not just in the NFC, but in the NFL right now. But when I start to go matchups, it's hard to doubt Tom Brady, but he does not have a ton of help around him at this point in time.
Yeah, but Tom Brady still, if you look at the Bucs defense, still better in some major statistical categories than they were last year as they were a Super Bowl winning defense, where the Packers, does this say the Packers are allowing almost 31 points a game since week 11, worse than the NFL? Does it say that right here? Oh, man. Have they given up 28 or more points in the last 4 games? Interesting. So the beginning of the season and then what they're doing now, sounds like they're leaking a little oil. 29th and 3rd down defense. Interesting. Because if Aaron Rodgers has to go against the Rams, you can have that conversation. I'll give you Rams potentially could do that. But then there's a big joker. And there's Tom Brady, who scores the most points in the NFL going against Aaron Rodgers, who has more yards than Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers has failed to throw for more than 300 yards in 9 of his 13 starts this year. Go blow for blow with Tom Brady. We didn't see it last year in the postseason, and I don't think this year in cumulative we've seen it yet in terms of resume. Go Bucs. Coming up, we'll tell you who we're more confident in to get back to the Super Bowl, the Chiefs or the Bucs. Damn! Just answer that, didn't we kind of? All right, that's next. Don't speak for yourself. Let me try to son him, Patrick. The Chiefs and Bucs have their sights on a return to the Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes' squad, hottest team in football with 7 straight wins over in Tampa. The Bucs are the defending champs. But Tom Brady's crew facing big-time injuries, including Chris Godwin, who's out for the year with a torn ACL. So, Acho, how confident are you the Chiefs make it back to the Super Bowl?
Incredibly. The Chiefs are the one team that I actually am confident in out of the 32, and at this point, truly probably about 20 that still have a chance. Okay. Chiefs are the only team who I am certain will get back to the Super Bowl, primarily because their path is much easier. NFC path is difficult. I'm not confident in anybody in the NFC getting to the Super Bowl. You just got too many Hall of Fame quarterbacks on that side, from Brady to Rodgers to potentially Stafford. You got too much drama over there. Dak Prescott playing well. Kyler Murray had MVP glimpses. But on the AFC side, Lamar Jackson, he hurt and he regressed. Josh Allen, he's regressed. Justin Herbert, phenomenal, but he's young. Joe Burrow, phenomenal, but he's young. Mac Jones, phenomenal within the system, kind of-ish, but he's definitely young. So Patrick Mahomes is the one dude who I'm like, oh, big dog, your road is actually the easiest compared to everybody else. Furthermore, They got to buy, sell. So you telling me they only got to win 2 games. As it stands now, they'd have to beat the Bengals and they would have to beat the Patriots.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes, you got to beat Joe Burrow and Mac Jones. If I were to tell you, a Chiefs fan, y'all at home, hey, Patrick Mahomes beats Joe Burrow, Mac Jones to get back to the Super Bowl, we are taking that bet and we are doubling down if the dealer will allow us. The Chiefs are the one team I am beyond confident in getting back to the big one.
It's not a lot of confidence coming from this side of the table for the Chiefs. Let me tell you why. Because I don't even think you have a lot of confidence in the Chiefs. What I think you don't have is confidence in the field. So now the Chiefs have no one to race. Been there before in track meets, those low-level track meets, almost like dual meets. You ever seen a dual meet and there's no one to race? They be like, set, go. I'm like, go where? What the hell?
3 lanes filled. It'd be like lane 1, lane 5, and lane 8.
Right. And you're like, I'm not going to PR today. Let's just say that, right? And you're just running around and there's no one to race.
That's real.
I think you're just looking at the field like suspect, wounded. Okay, Chiefs, go get it again. And that's not confidence in the Chiefs. That's just lack of confidence in the field. So I don't have a ton of confidence in the Chiefs. Why? I just see issues. Most important statistic, every coach from Pop Warner tells you this, turnovers, right? Where are the Chiefs in terms of turnovers? 28th, tied for 28th, so that's really like 29th. In terms of giveaways this season, no Super Bowl champion in the last 6 years has been in the Super Bowl with lower than 11th in giveaways. I just think there's disqualifiers out there. Inconsistency of Patrick Mahomes. You look at them scoring over 22 points. You saw it twice against the Raiders, or you saw Raiders and Chargers. That's it. Like, come on, man.
Let's do this. We got a minute left, Sel. Let's talk track, and y'all better love some track and field. Love it like we love it. I do this for my friends now. You probably did this when you were racing, maybe not because you were uber confident. When you get the heat sheets, right? You get the heat sheets, and heat sheets are, you see everybody who is in what heat. And based upon what heat you are in and what place you place in that heat, you qualify for the next round. It's typically top 2 in every heat will qualify, next 2 fastest times, layman terms.
Let's go.
So I decide who I think is going to qualify for the next round as a spectator, not just based on how talented they are, but I look around at who else is in the heat and say, okay, it's a slow heat.
Yes, slow heat.
Put them in.
Yes.
I might look at the greatest of all time, Allison Felix, the greatest track athlete of all time, and be like, yo, she is the greatest of all time, but man, she in a fast heat, so I can't put her in. So you're right, but I don't think I'm wrong.
Okay.
I think I'm looking at the heat sheets and I'm like, they got a slow heat. I'm going to go ahead and put the Chiefs in.
That's a great point. Except if you look around it and look deeper into the heat sheets, Buffalo's there. No. Can they get hot? They were there last year. You look around. New England, they could play within their system. Just run that tight race. You don't see them coming, but there they are. I just look around at other teams and I'm like, I don't know if we have the proper forecast what those teams would do. We know Kansas City, when they're hot, no one's hotter. But they still don't have that flaming fastball just yet. Coming up, Matt Rule defended Cam Newton after calling him out on Sunday. You hear that, Acho? Tell you if he's keeping it 100 or only 99. That's next on Speak for Yourself. On this show, we only know how to keep it 100. But others out there, y'all keep it 99. So each day, we're going to get to the bottom. Stop looking at me, Acho, of who's really telling the truth. Great career for you. I'll just go back and play. Case in point, Matt Rule called out Cam Newton after his performance in Sunday's loss. But Monday was a new day. And Rule praised his quarterback. Take a listen.
I've absolutely respected and appreciated and loved every second that Cam's been here. He works as hard as someone can work. All he ever says to me is, "Hey, keep coaching me." He wants accountability. He wants to help the team win.
We both leaning like him. And who in the hell is He keep talking about I don't know him. So, Acho, is Matt Rule keeping it 100 or keeping it 99?
It's a wrap for Cam, big dog.
It's a wrap for Matt Rule, too. What you mean? Give it to me.
I mean, that was, we are gathered here today to mourn the loss of Cam Newton's career. That's what that was, big dog.
I never want a coach to talk about me like that, because that means I'm not doing my part. I'm not doing my job. Cam, that's not your greatest supporter. I am. That's it for us. Matt Rule and Cam Newton, go somewhere else and figure it out. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Man, he was up there lying.